Hi everyone, I'm Jules. Welcome to Jules Board Game Review. I do have a Twitch channel, but I decided to also do some recording for YouTube and go over some of my favorite and least favorite games. So, I'm going to try to load up games as I discover them, as I buy them, as I play them, and try to hopefully share with you guys some fun stuff, some not some fun stuff, some cool facts about games, and just stuff like that. And I hope that through this you can find some new games to try to play, or maybe you can rediscover games that you haven't played in a while, or if you're looking for gifts for someone and they're a big board game person, maybe you can find some cool gifts or gift ideas for them. So today I'm going to be talking about a personal favorite, and it's Bananagrams. Funny thing is, I actually don't like bananas, but I love this game. So, Bananagrams is cool for a lot of reasons. It's a 2 to 8 player game, or you can play by yourself. So I'm going to kind of go over the 2 to 8 player version and the solo version. That way, if you buy it for yourself and you are bored and you're like, I want to play Bananagrams, but it's just me, you can play. So, it comes in this cool little bag, and in it are tiles very much like Scrabble tiles. And one thing I actually love is I just love the sound it makes when I dig my hands to the tiles. I don't know, it's just, I love the sound. So it comes with a bunch of tiles, and depending on how you're playing, you're going to pull out a different number. So if you're playing in a group, the way you set up is you put all the tiles out face down, kind of like Scrabble, except Scrabble I think you usually pull from a bag, and you could probably pull from the Bananagram bag too, but it's so much quicker if you just lay them out in the middle. It actually makes the gameplay 10 times easier. So you set them all out, all of them, face down, and you're going to all grab tiles when you start the game. And if it's 2 to 4 players, you're going to all grab 21 tiles to start. If it's 5 to 6, you'd grab 15 tiles, and if it's 7 to 8, you'd grab 11 tiles to start. So all the tiles will be out face down, and then you'd say split. And when you split, you turn over the tiles you grabbed. So you're going to grab, say, 21 tiles face down. You say split, you turn them all over. And then you start building your board. And unlike Scrabble, where you're building on a board, you're actually building your own board. So you want to make words out of the tiles you grabbed, and you're trying to use all of them. So, let's say you got your tiles, you're building words, with your 21 tiles, let's say. So you're playing with 2 to 4 people. And you make your word, and you manage to use all your words. When you have no more tiles left, you say peel. And what that means is everyone playing, regardless of how many tiles, has to grab another one. Just one, face down from the middle. And it doesn't sound that hard, but the thing is, if I grab one tile and I can either just add it onto a word I already made, or I can just quickly rearrange, soon enough I'm going peel, 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 and it's tacking up for people who might not have finished. So here I had A-R-E-R, right? And there's letters space, and I go peel, and I grab a T. Oh, you know what? I can just change that to tear, T-E-A-R. Peel, grab again. Or, if you can make like a really short 2-letter word, like A-N, an, or any of the musical words, do, re, mi, fa, they all count. So you could just add them on. O-R is a word, or, and if you can just do that really quickly, you're saying peel left and right, and people just can't keep up with you. So it doesn't seem hard, but it is, especially if you have letters piling up and you see someone next to you just banging out words left and right. Now, let's say I get a word, and a letter, and I'm looking at my board, and I'm losing time, and I just can't figure out how to use it. I would say dump. Dump is just for me. The person who calls it, they put one letter back, face down, they have to take 3 more. So, you don't want to have to take 3 more, but if you got like a Q and you don't have a U, or you get a Z or an X, and you either have to tear apart your whole board, or you're looking at it and you're wasting time, and sometimes it's just beneficial. And then when you have all your words done and there's less words in the middle than there are players, you have no more words left, you say bananas. Now, less words than players in the middle. Let's say you're playing with 3 people. If there's 2 tiles left in the middle, the game is done. Once you finish with all your letters, you look over really quick, make sure all your words are correct, you say bananas. The first person say bananas wins. Unless I say bananas, my friend looks over my board and he goes, that's not a word. And I'm looking and I go, oh, you're right. Or, let's check the dictionary. If it's not a word, I lost. I have to put all my letters back face down. The game continues without me. So that's why you always want to kind of check your board really quick before you call bananas. So that's the traditional way to play, All letters go down face down the middle. You take your tiles face down, 21 tiles for 2 to 3 players. Split, you turn them over, you begin. Peel, you all grab 1. Dump, put 1 back, grab 3, and bananas, I win. One little tip I'm going to give you is when you have all your letters face down and you start putting them face up, the thing I like to do is I like to take an extra second and just kind of put them all up face up. Just because I feel like I just feel like my mind works better that way. Like if I have words that are upside down, I might not notice them right away. Or I might just find that it's easier to put words together when you're looking at all the letters face up, which is why when you play Scrabble, you usually have them all face up in a little stand. So there are different ways to play. Like I said, there is actually a game called Bananagram Smoothie. I've never played it, but it sounds like a lot of fun, so I do want to try it. And that's when you take all the letters and you split them evenly. So, however best you can. If there's a few letters left over and there's not enough players, you could put them back. But you're going to try to split them evenly between how many ever players you're playing with. And there's no letters left in the middle, and you just build your board, and whoever goes first wins. So there's no dumping, there's no peeling. And hopefully, if you get stuck on a letter, you're going to have to just make do. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. Like I said, I haven't played it yet, but it sounds like a really good version of the game. And then there's solo, which I think there's a way to play it that they actually explain the directions. I lost the directions to my Bananagrams long ago, but this is how I play. I deal myself 21. I turn them over. I start building, and then I pull 7 at a time. Once I finish what I have, I pull 7 more, and I just see how quick I can go, what cool words I can make. You can time yourself and kind of try to see if you can beat your time. That's why I do 21, and then add 7 each time. So that's how I would play solo. But I think there's rules online for that. Like I said, I don't have the rules anymore, and that's how I play. I think it's a good way to play. So let's say you lose when you're playing with a group and you don't have a word that makes sense. Everyone gets to call you a rotten banana, so, it's gross. The cool thing about Bananagrams is actually the history of Bananagrams. So there was this guy named Nathanson, and him and his family actually started doing it for a family game. He would make it and he'd play it with his family. And then in 2006, he brought it to a London toy fair, and next thing you know, it starts hitting the shelves. And he called it Bananagrams because he says it's an anagram game that will drive you bananas. So that's Bananagrams. Lots of fun. So it's kind of close to Scrabble, but unlike I said before, with Scrabble, instead of just playing on your own board, you're playing with everyone else. And I mean, there's pros and cons to Scrabble versus Bananagrams. I get annoyed when I have a spot that I want and someone else takes it. I also, I'm not really a whole fan of the whole triple letter, double letter, triple word score, triple letters. I feel like it's cool. I just don't particularly appreciate it. But I mean, there is a way to score in Scrabble, which in Bananagrams there's not really a scoring. It's just kind of keeping track of who lost and who won. So there's that. Also, the funny thing about Scrabble is I actually learned it a completely different way than the real game. So, my family plays it with a set of rules that are not actually the rules of Scrabble. And people get really annoyed because when I learned how to play Scrabble, I learned a few things. I learned that if there was a blank tile down, you could actually pick it up if you had the letter on your turn and take the blank letter, which apparently you're not supposed to do. I learned that you could consult the dictionary not for a word, but to make sure you were spelling it right. So you couldn't sit there like reading through the dictionary, but if you're like, this word, I just want to make sure I'm spelling it right, they would totally let you look, which, again, not allowed to do in real Scrabble. And then my family also has a sheet of words that are all just like 2-letter words, all the legal 2-letter words, and you can consult that anytime you want during the game. Which, again, most Scrabble games don't come with that. We just made one up ourselves. I don't know if this is a rule. We played that if you can use all 7 letters, you get an extra 50 points. I think that actually is a rule. I'm just not sure. I was in college one day and I was trying to do these rules. My friends were like, you can't play like that. And I was completely confused because up to that point I had only played with my family. And it's not just like my mom, my dad, my sister. It's like my grandma plays by this. My aunts and uncles all play by these rules on my dad's side of the family. So I was very thrown the first time I tried to play Scrabble. Bananagrams is also similar to Boggle, which if you don't know, it's like there's like a square board and you like shuffle them and like all the letters come out and you try to make words that are like across and down and like you see what words you can see in the board. I was playing once with a friend's family and his mom. He also had the word moth, M-O-T-H. Now she was like, "Oh, I found M-O-T-H-E-R, like mother. Is that a word? Like someone who catches moths?" And we all looked at her for 2 seconds, like, "You mean mother?" And it was really funny. There's also a game called Quiddler, which is a lot like Bananagrams, except it's actually with cards. I used to own it. I don't know what happened to it. I think I lost it when I moved long ago. And I remember like the Q and the U were on the same card. But no one ever wanted to play with me, so I can't go over the rules that well with you because I actually don't remember how to play it. I owned it and I think I played it by myself once, and no one ever really wanted to play Quiddler with me, so I couldn't even begin to tell you the right rules. But those are some games that are like Bananagrams, but I think out of those games, Bananagrams is probably my favorite. Bananagrams has won tons of awards too, so you know it's got to be a good game. It won Game of the Year in 2009 from the Toady Awards, T-O-T-Y, Toy of the Year Awards, 2009. It won the Gold Award in the UK for the Good Toy Guide in 2006. It won the Best Toy Bronze Award in the Right Start magazine in 2006. Top Toy of the Year Creative Child Zine in 2007. Is it Zine or Zine? Like, I know it's magazine, but I always kind of figured Z-I-N-E is Zine. Zine? I don't know, but it was a magazine. Creative Child Zine, 2007. And then it also won the Napa Honors Award for Parenthood.com. So, I'm not the only one who thinks this game is the bomb. There are, pros and cons to every game. I think Bananagrams has a lot of pros. So the one thing is, and the best thing I think is super easy to transport. Like, all the letters stay in this pouch. They're not coming out. You can easily pick it up and throw it in your bag, throw it in your suitcase, Obviously you're not going to play in a car. You need like a table, but I mean, until the zipper breaks, which I'm sure one day it will, this is pretty durable, It's letters are not coming out. It's not going anywhere. And it's not super big either. Like with Scrabble, you'd have to pack it up, put the board away, put the letters away, put the little things away, pack it up, make sure the cardboard box isn't getting crushed. That's not going to happen. I bring this on almost every trip with me because there's usually at least one other person who wants to play. I've actually had this for a really long time. I think I got it for Christmas years ago. And this lasted all through college. I brought it every year to college. I played many, many games in college with this. I had a few friends who I'm still really good friends with who love Bananagrams. I actually played with them a few weeks ago. And it's been years since college. I'm old. So this it's durable. It holds up, and you know you can even throw it in a purse. I mean, it's not light, but it's not heavy. You can throw it in your purse, throw it in your bag, and just bring it with you. You know, it's a good game to break out, especially on like group trips where or like. So one place I really do bring this is I love to bring it to the Adirondacks because I love the camping and the hiking and the kayaking. But when it rains, you don't want to be outside. I mean, maybe, but if it's like pouring, like, so you got your reading, you can take a nap, you can do a puzzle, but you also like to have some games. And Bananagrams is just one of those really easy games to bring. So that's a huge pro. It's a quick game. It doesn't take very long to play around, so that's good if you're just looking, like, if you're waiting for someone to show up or you're waiting for something and you have a table, like, you could probably play it in a really quick amount of time, so it's not one of those games, like, that just drags on forever, and, so there's that. It's not too expensive. I don't remember how much I saw online for, but it's really not a super expensive game. I think you can get this in, like, Target or other board game stores or like Amazon, but it's not, especially for the amount of times you're going to play it, it's okay if you spend some money. I can look it up really quick, but I really don't think it's an expensive game at all. Pretty cheap. Let's see. Bananagrams. So this one I'm seeing it for 19, which is for a board game that you're going to play over and over and over again, I think that's perfectly acceptable. I've definitely paid for it. Well, I didn't pay for it. I got it for a gift. But it's definitely earned its keep over and over and over again for many, 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 many years. And like I said, you can play it solo, groups. You can have a big group with like 11 people, 8 people, or you can have a small group with like, you can just play by yourself or you can just play one-on-one. So it's nice because you don't need 4 people to play, or you can't just have 4 people. Like some games, like it's really only built for 2 people, 4 people, and this you can play it as a big party game where you can just play it like me and my husband break it out once in a while and we'll just play. So those are like all good things. The cons is like if you're really into like a game that you have to keep score, you're not really going to keep score on this game. You can keep track of who won or who lost, but if you like the whole counting with the Scrabble, you're not going to get that with Bananagrams. You're not going to get, you get 17 points for this word. It doesn't really matter what your words are as long as they're all real words. So, you can make a really cool word, and you're not going to get extra points for the cool word. You're not going to get extra points for using a cue. The tiles, unlike Scrabble tiles, don't have points on them. So no points are awarded. It's just you have to be fast. So again, in that same vein, if you're tired, if you don't want a game where you have to think a lot, if it's late at night and you want to play a game but you don't really it's gonna be like the last game of the night, guys. Like you're drunk, whatever. This is not the game. I mean, you could break it out, but it's definitely a game where you have to think. You have to think fast. You have to think on your feet. You have to be able to improvise. It's definitely a game that takes some mental energy. So that's definitely a pro if that's the mood you're in, but it can be a con if you're tired, drunk, whatever, don't feel like thinking. That's more of a game where you're going to pull out the games where you can just kind of do it by rote. And I guess the last thing I would say is this isn't a game you're going to break out with your little kids and play. I don't have kids, so I don't play with little kids. But I don't think it would be fair for me to play against a 7-year-old in Bananagrams. It just wouldn't be fair. Like I'm making words and they're making like cat, dog. It's not a family, an all ages family friendly game. If you're playing with your college kids, sure, your high schoolers even, like that's fine. I only really play with people my own age. I play with my husband, I play with my friends from college. I have played with my mom. She's the only person who's ever beat me. I'm really, really competitive when it comes to Bananagrams. But she also made an illegal word and I didn't call her on it, so. But yeah, so you're not going to play with your little kids. But like I said, I give this game like an 8 or 9 out of 10 if I was going to rate it. It's definitely up there with my favorite games. You can tell the bag is kind of like beat up, but I love this game. I think it's a great addition to my gaming collection, and you know, if you like words like me, I was an English major in college, so I love words. If you like words, I think this is an excellent addition to any gaming collection. I hope you have a fantastic day, and play on.